Brett, back with the details. Part two on this one this week. Something pretty interesting happened here. The Chiefs and Raiders ran similar plays in this game, similar pick plays. One worked a lot better than the other. I figured it'd be interesting to go over both and see how maybe the Chiefs coaches give lots of answers to their players in these sort of situations and potentially how they help their players out.
Right. So this is the fourth down stop there. I think it was early fourth quarter where that we touched on. Where the Raiders are basically trying to run a two-man pick rub concept, and the Chiefs are showing what looks to be man coverage. However, the Chiefs end up playing a man match technique to where this pick concept is no good because they pass it off. You can see he's going to run at the outside shoulder there, and they just play 2 for 2. Quarterback looks like he's expecting man coverage and to be able to throw that ball to the flat for a touchdown. That doesn't happen, gets a little bit of pressure, and then he's like, okay, I'm out. Doesn't really have any answers other than what's to beat true man coverage.
We also see this. He's kind of clapping his hands here at the very beginning. Play call maybe comes in late. It was a fourth down play, a little bit of scramble mode. But another we don't see from the Raiders is any sort of motion here to get a man ID, a zone ID. It's something you can contrast with the Chiefs. So talk me through this play. This is going to be a touchdown for Xavier Worthy later in this game. What good do you see about this play from the Chiefs when it comes to a play design and a coaching design coming into this game?
Yeah, so similar situation. Ball's a little bit further back, roughly 6 yards or so. But the Chiefs are going to be in instead of an empty set, they're going to be in a 3-by-1. And there you see a little bit of motion right there that they're going to use as an information, gathering technique, whatever, pre-snap to give an indicator. So they're going to motion him in. You can see them kind of communicate right there. And then they're going to sprint out left. And as you mentioned, it was a rough day for Wanya Morris, right?
Yeah.
Rough day. I don't know what the PFF grades were. You may not have them off the top of your head, but anybody watch that game knows that he struggled. So giving him a sprint out, a different type of protection instead of a true drop back where you're kick setting and having to take on whether it be Max Crosby or Tyree Wilson, whoever was over him. It's an easier block to make.
Give me the route concept here. Again, we're going to talk about a little bit of a rub route here and the execution that goes on here with the Chiefs.
Right. So Watson's job there at number one is going to be to basically create the traffic or set the pick, so to speak. And he does a good job avoiding it. These officials, they're really the last couple of years seem to be stressing this PI. So he does a really good job avoiding that flag right there. And that's what you get when you get true man coverage, like the Raiders were hoping the Chiefs were last play, is you get a wide open throw to the flat right there.
Not to mention, by sprinting out this way, Brett, making a little bit of a simpler throw, a shorter throw for Patrick Mahomes, kind of helping out your team as well when it comes to this. Instead of having to throw this ball all the way over here, you're just making a little bit of a shorter throw, gets it a little bit quicker.
And you see that guy chasing right there? That's a Pro Bowl pass rusher. You're running away from him. I think that is 98. I think that is Crosby. But regardless, yeah, you're running away from him, and you're basically eliminating his impact on the play. You're getting a good pick right there. And then there are answers built in if they do happen to pass this. And that's not something you saw with the two-man game that the Raiders were trying to play on fourth down. It was either you're going to get the throw to the flat or it's dead. But here you're going to have basically a high-low on the corner with the corner route by Hardman and the flat by Worthy. If you do happen to get some sort of zone coverage, then you've got right there as you're drawing up a vertical stretch on the corner there. And then it's possible that Watson would be able to, settle in somewhere for a secondary option.
We hear the Chiefs talk all the time about good versus all plays. So if Mahomes sees that motion and sees potentially zone coverage, he knows he still has some answers to the test here, coming up with a high-low read, potentially reading a zone defender here and saying, okay, which spot are you going to pick? I'm going to pick the other one. But as we saw this, he sees man coverage early. The Raiders stick with a non-man match coverage, which creates this traffic. And all of a sudden, the Chiefs get themselves a wide open touchdown on a very similar play that the Raiders tried, except just not executed well. Also got to give the kudos to Justin Watson, because obviously that's something they practice and they perform pretty well. So just sort of some interesting details, as we talk about in these videos. And the Chiefs coaches definitely made it easier on their players in this particular play.
Yeah, and what you bring up with the good versus all is so important, because you can have all the tendencies you want. You can say, okay, in this part of the field against this personnel group, you're going to get 95% cover zero, whatever it might be. But the defensive coordinators, they self-scout themselves too, right? They understand what they're calling. So they know, hey, if I got a heavy tendency to play this coverage, we may mix it up this week. So having, as you said, the good versus all, the built-in answers are so important.
Yeah, so many things going on here for the Chiefs. Again, this is why their play calls are long. You've got the formation, you've got the rollout, you've got the good versus all play. So a lot of things going on for the Chiefs, but obviously a good indication of where good coaching helps out and good coaching comes in. And these two plays were not very similar in results. A lot of that is due to the Chiefs being able to execute the details well, and obviously the Raiders not able to do so, matched up with something with Spags they weren't expecting.